Welcome back to Sledhead 24/7. I'm Nisha Johnson. Now, recently, ISOC and the AMSOIL Championship Snowcross Series unveiled their upcoming racing schedule. And let me tell you, there is plenty to get fired up about. But before we flash forward, let's rewind and relive some of the great highlights of last season. Take a look.
The season traditionally begins at the AMSOIL Duluth National. A new season brings out new stars, and Spirit Mountain was the coming out party for first-year pro Danny Ebert. It was a classic case of student versus teacher, as Ebert went bar to bar against many of his racing idols. In the Pro Superstock Final, it was a day for all cat fans to rejoice, with an Arctic Cat sweep in the 22-lap final. Tucker Hibbert, Danny Ebert, and Garth the G-Man Kaufman were all fat cats on the podium. Week 3, the series headed for the mountains at the Western Nationals in Utah at Rio Tinto Stadium, where a big crowd was treated to some great racing. In the Pro Open class, perhaps a new chapter in snowcross racing was written, as first-year pro Tim Tremblay took on Tucker Hibbert, and Tremblay made Team Warnet and Skidoo proud. The series traveled to Minnesota and the Air Force National at Canterbury Park, where horsepower of a different manner was on display. It was an emotional day for Mike Schultz, who came to race at Canterbury a year after losing his leg in an accident.
You know, I set a goal early. I'm like, yeah, I want to go back to Canterbury and race, and so everything's been working really good up to this point, and here I am.
We joked in the hospital that Mike would develop his own knee, and he did it. He designed it all, sketched it all out, and 1 week he went in our garage and built the whole thing. I said he went mad scientist and built a leg, and it's worked amazing from the beginning.
In the Pro Open Final, snowcross fans witnessed one of the greatest comebacks in snowcross history. Tucker Hibbert started in the back of the pack and worked his way to a victory in a classic comeback.
Look at that, Tucker just about off his sled. Here's T-Train again by Martin, and look at that, makes the pass. And it is professional win number 53.
In upstate New York, the points battle tightened up at the Eastern Nationals presented by Tyson Foods. And talk about getting launched. Garth Kaufman went into orbit on one of the most spectacular crashes of the season. The G-Man felt about 10 G's of force. He did a headlight check and then got shot over the moon. Garth is an amazing athlete who landed on his feet like a cat on his Arctic Cat. Race 8, and it felt like spring. Great weather and big crowds in the heart of snowmobile country for the Hayward Power Sports Polaris 300 Nationals, held at the LCO Casino. In the Cat Pro Stock class, the story was the continued domination of Ross Martin. He, along with Tim Tremblay on the NSK Skidoo, put on a How to Do It racing seminar. In the AMSOIL Pro Open Final, it was 24 laps of sheer madness. First-year pro Danny Ebert made it out of a first-turn tangle that grabbed the Stud Boy Hole Shot Award. Then, the race took off. Tim Tremblay surged to get between Martin and Ebert and put the throttle down and took over the lead.
It is going to be Tremblay into the corner first.
With about 8 laps to go, Launchin' Levi LaValle was tripling jumps and moving up with every leap to put himself in the third-place position. Ross Martin and Tim Tremblay took their A-game to the final stop on the series, the Nielsen Enterprises Grand Finale at Lake Geneva. It's one of the most challenging tracks on the tour, built into the side of a ski hill. In the Pro Stock class, Tim Tremblay held on to the top spot, followed by Ross Martin and super sweet Emil Oman. Ross Martin had the #1 spot locked up in the Pro Open class and capped off a great season with a victory and ended up as the #1 rider in the Pro Open class. Ross is indeed the boss, and the fans know it.
The season kicks off in Duluth November 26th through the 28th, Thanksgiving weekend. And of course, they have some awesome stops this year, including Utah, Fargo, Hayward, and of course, the grand finale in Lake Geneva. There's even an indoor event at the Silver Dome in Detroit, Michigan. How cool is that? Make sure to log on to our website at sledhead24-7.com or isocracing.com. We'll be right back.
Still ahead, this happy hunter found the sled of his dreams at Heydays. But what will Paul Mack discover? Tag along for Macker's Heydays adventure. But first, here's today's Snowgoer Magazine destination.
For many Midwestern riders, their first trip to the more mountainous West is an adventure to the Black Hills of South Dakota. With more than 300 miles of smooth trails that cut through stunning scenery, it's a ride anybody can handle. Those looking for a bit more adventure, however, can pick their own path through the backcountry. The possibilities seem endless in this 1.3 million acre playground. Cross over into Wyoming and visit Cement Ridge, boondock through the forest and find bottomless powder, or cruise through the exposed limestone of Spearfish Canyon. For more information on riding in the Black Hills, or anywhere else for that matter, visit snowgoer.com.
For over 35 years, Snow West Magazine has been on the front lines in covering the latest and greatest in all the snowmobile trends that you're looking for. If you've got a hankering for snowcross racing, extreme terrain riding, and in-depth reviews on the newest sleds, then Snow West Magazine is a must to experience the steep and deep now. Subscribe to Snow West Magazine. Call 1-800-638-0135 or log on to snowwest.com.